everyone, and welcome to RIT SportsZone. I'm John DeTulio.
And I'm Shelby Hill. Today we begin our 9th season of covering the Tigers right here in the Brick City.
Well, Shelby, fall has arrived, and that means a lot of football on college campuses across the country. But since 1978, RIT hasn't fielded a team to play one of America's most beloved sports.
And John, decades later, Tiger fans are still disappointed that RIT hasn't returned to the gridiron. And so is one of the school's former coaches. SC hit the road this summer and went one-on-one with the man who built the Tigers program and has since become a giant in coaching. This is what life is like for New York Giants head coach Tom Coughlin. A major difference from when he took over the reins at RIT 40 years ago.
I came up to RIT, I had the interview with Lou, he offered me the job. So starting a program over with all the details that are involved, you know, I did everything. I did the travel, I did the equipment buying, we did everything you could think of with a part-time staff. We had part-time coaches at the time, and I was the only full-time guy. But it was a great move for me.
The coach also did the team's laundry and painted the yard markers on the field. But he admits his biggest challenge was filling the roster.
The challenges really were getting players. I mean, we were recruiting players. You know, I can remember walking into a school, into a high school, and the coach would say, do you want to sit down and look at film? And I say, film. All I want to do is know is who do you have that can qualify to get into a great school like RIT and who can play the game and wants to play at the college level. So I would go to 6 or 7 schools during the course of a day just trying to accumulate numbers. I'd stand out on the walkway over from the dormitories and just look for kids. I remember Bruce Coughlin walking by, and I grabbed Bruce. He was a nice looking big old guy, and asked him if he ever played, you know, high school football, and he said yes. And so I talked him into coming out for the varsity team. But there were a lot of guys like that.
Now, in your early years at RIT, how did that shape you as the coach you are today?
Well, I think that the shaping had come a little bit earlier when I played at Syracuse for Ben Schwartzwalder and how Coach Schwartzwalder ran his program. And I thought maybe this is something that I might want to do, and so I would start to think along those lines. And even as a player at Syracuse, I thought along those lines. And so the style just kind of came naturally because of the experiences that I had. At Syracuse, we were very physical. You know, we ran the ball, we played great defense, and we rushed and played from a 5-3 front, and that's where the style began.
During his 4 seasons at RIT, Coughlin didn't field a Division III powerhouse, but the Tigers held their own, going 16-15-1. I
remember playing against great football teams. I mean, we played against a Hobart team that had the 2 leading rushers in Division III one time. We tied them. I was real proud of the way in which our players rose from the club level to the varsity level against Alfred and Ithaca and St. Lawrence and Hobart and some really Brockport, some really good football teams, well manned, well coached, a lot of players, and our guys stood up very well against that competition. The sacrifices those kids made were amazing. You know, when you stop and think about the purity of the sport at that level, there was no one on scholarship, there was really no one on aid. They were there because of the academics of the school and the opportunity to play, and of course the location.
Tom Coughlin took great pride in building a varsity football program at RIT. However, decades later, the Super Bowl winning coach is still disappointed the Tigers program was disbanded.
It's disappointing because it is a historical part of our past, and certainly would have liked to have seen the program continue. I know that it continued for a couple of years, similar to, I guess, what happened in World War II. I think they had football at a time and then they had to drop it, but it was disappointing. I knew Lou Spiatti was the head football coach at the time when that happened, and I know it had to be disappointing for Lou as well.
40 years after starting his coaching career, Coughlin is still at it. The 64-year-old coach is in his 7th season with the New York Giants. Plenty has changed in his profession, but the coach has remained the same and hopes to be remembered fondly when he calls it quits. Lastly, if you had to write the final chapter of your coaching career, how would it end and how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I'd like to win for our team, the New York Giants, to win another Super Bowl. That would be nice. But I would like to be remembered as a guy who was very thorough, very detailed, talked about team exclusively, not about individuals, but about the we rather than the me. Someone who cared about his players, someone who could, who learned as he grew in the game, just as I think you grow in life in every capacity that you're in. Adjusted his style, if you will, to the players and the circumstances of the day, and and really got people to play to the best of their ability. That's the important thing, is that we all, whatever we choose to do in life, that we do it to the best of our ability. And if we can do that, I think then it's something that's worthwhile remembering.
If you'd like to see more of our interview with Coach Coughlin, you can find it now at RITSC.com.
Well, still ahead on SportsZone, after an unforgettable season, the Tigers tackle the pressure and expectations of the new year.
Welcome back to SportsZone. After an unforgettable and unexpected run to the Frozen Four last year, the RIT men's hockey team is getting ready for the puck to drop on a new season. Allison Dupre caught up with the Tigers to discuss expectations and distractions that come with national exposure.
In Albany, New York, the Cinderella story of the tournament so far. The Rochester Institute of Technology out of Rochester, New York. They're going dancing to the Frozen Four in Detroit.
It was the biggest moment in RIT Division I history, but the Tigers say that now it's nothing more than a fond memory.
Just as one of the leaders of the team this year, I think it's important for myself, Fabs, and Murph to just kind of keep especially the younger guys, we just got to kind of keep the room down and humble. And I mean, it was a good accomplishment last year, but I think we have to forget about it now. Like, our official practices started yesterday when Coach could come on the ice, and I think for us to turn a new page, it's important for us to kind of let last year be and focus on this upcoming season.
We had a ring ceremony a couple of weeks ago where we received our rings, and that was great. And that was kind of signifying that last season's officially over now, and now it's a new season. And we've got a lot of people that really want to kind of knock us off our throne, but we're going to try and defend it right to the end.
But with every new season comes a loss of valuable players and the need for other Tigers to step up.
Well, I think it's time for new guys to step up, like myself and some of the freshmen from last year, and guys like Eki and Sino. I mean, it's the way college teams are built. It's for younger guys to step up into positions, and it's my job kind of as a captain of the team this year to make sure myself and all the other D-men step up into new positions and fill the voids that we lost with Ringer and Tanny.
The atmosphere is definitely a little different in the locker room, but I wouldn't say it's worse, I wouldn't say it's better. It just depends on how the season progresses and how the team comes together this year. Each team's going to be different every year. We're going to lose players and we're going to get new players. So it's going to be different, but it'll still be a good atmosphere.
Well, I think we've lost our security blanket a little bit of having Jared DeMichiel in goal and Dan Ringwald and Al Mazer back on defense. They've been big parts of our team for 4 years. We have a lot of returning forwards. I'm very excited about our forwards, our defense. I think for us right now, it's they've got to prove themselves. We have to be a little bit patient there, and the same with the goaltending. Unproven goalies, as much as we like them, they're going to have to show what they're able to do in game situations.
Goaltending is one of the biggest question marks, and it remains unclear as to who will be the go-to guy.
You know, we're going to have to weed through that. We're evaluating every day in practice, and then when we start playing games and they're all getting their turns, we'll evaluate there. And you know, it may be by committee this year, or maybe one guy does take charge and we'll go with one. But right now our plans are to get all of them in games and go from there.
What will it take for you to be that starting goalie?
Just doing what I do best, go out there and play my game. I don't have to worry about what other teams are doing and what Josh and Yanni are doing. I just got to worry about myself and play as best to my capabilities, and I'm sure things will work out from there.
After last season, the Tigers know anything goes, but that hasn't changed their focus or their long-term goals.
I think our goals are still the same. Expectations are going to be higher from other people, so I think we want to come out early, we want to win a few games, and try to keep the fans that jumped on the bandwagon last year.
Our goals really haven't changed from year to year, and even coming off of last year, our goal was last year as it is this year is to have a very good regular season, to put ourselves in a position to host the playoffs, and that's anywhere through 1 through 4, and I think it's a long year and it's a tough grind, and there's different things that are going to come up, whether it be sickness, injuries, and so on. But we'd like to host at home, and then the ultimate goal would be to win our league playoffs to get to the NCAAs.
This season brings a challenging schedule and some new league rivals, but the Tigers are looking forward to a fresh start and another opportunity to show the nation what Tiger hockey is all about.
Expect another good season. We have a good group of guys in the locker room. We're gonna enjoy this year a lot. I think, again, expect us to get back to the tournament. It's our expectation. It's always our expectation to get back to the tournament, and hopefully we can bring some excitement like we did last year.
Well, I think we're going to have another exciting team. I think we're going to be a fun team to watch. You never know how the defense and goaltending is going to react, but I've seen young guys come in here and make an impact right away at the beginning of the year, so you never know with this group of guys. But I think a little patience from our fans and from the coaching staff with our players, and I think we'll be in real good position at the end of the year.
The Tigers will return 17 starters from last year's team and have been picked to finish first in the Atlantic Hockey Association preseason poll.
Last year's success on the ice led to some new and exciting opportunities for 3 Tigers. After completing his freshman season, defenseman Chris Tanev was offered a professional contract with the Vancouver Canucks. And defenseman Dan Ringwald signed with the AHL's Hartford Wolfpack. As Shelby Hill reports, goaltender Jared DeMichiel, will his spectacular postseason earn him a shot at the pros too.
Zone. So if you're Holy Cross, here's an opportunity. Sheen walking in, and DeMichiel stopping that breakaway of Everett Sheen.
Jared DeMichiel entered uncharted territory this summer after signing a professional contract with the AHL's Hershey Bears. How relieved are you now that you finally have a deal done?
Definitely relieved. It was very stressful there from after the Frozen Four till now. My agent told me right after the Frozen Four, he was hoping to have a deal done by Sunday or Monday, and that's when we lost on Thursday. So he thought he'd have a deal in 3 or 4 days, and then it dragged on for a few months. I think there was a lot of teams who were interested, and then we kind of didn't have the best showing against Wisconsin, and that kind of hurt my stock and maybe some other players' stock also. And then from there, we just had to play the waiting game. It's different being a goalie. Most teams only have 4 to 6 goalies within their organization, so there's not many spots out there. And luckily, I found the home with Hershey.
Once the deal was in place, DeMichiel went back to work, training here on campus for one of the biggest opportunities of his life, with those who know what it takes to make it at the next level. What's the hardest part in transitioning from college to professional hockey?
I think it's the biggest thing is just feeling comfortable again. You come from college where a lot of you guys are a junior, senior, you're leaving school and you're going to, like where I went, we had probably 4 or 5 guys that are in their mid-30s. So they have a lot more experience, and it's just different. It's just a little bit different atmosphere, and also you're playing, instead of the 35 games, you're playing about 80 games a year. So it's a whole different lifestyle almost.
And how do you prepare for those?
You just basically got to keep your body healthy. I mean, it's a long ride. You have a lot of bus trips, a lot of long road trips, but you got to stay healthy and just kind of stay positive throughout the whole thing.
College hockey play 30, 40 games. The professionals play 82, so it's almost putting 1 season or 2 seasons into one. So it's a grind, that's for sure. You come out of college, and it's a job. It's not go and have fun. And I know they're really dedicated in college, going to school and playing, but it's a different animal. You got a lot of older guys, you got some guys who are married, have kids, and you got some single guys. So it's you better perform every night or your job's on the line.
DeMichiel is taking the advice from the pros to heart in hopes of gaining even the slightest edge. Now, training camp, I know you're doing all this to get ready, but what are you really focusing on?
Really focusing on just getting stronger and definitely on my technique and net. I want to keep things as simple as possible. I mean, every once in a while you do need to make an acrobatic save, but in the pro game, from what I've seen, if you overplay the net or slide past the play, they really expose you. So I'm just trying to keep things as simple as I can, make the saves when I need to make the saves, and have my team help me out from there.
In a tough situation being a goalie, he's only one of them, but he works hard, and that's the best attribute you can have, is being a hard worker, and he'll get there. He just keeps that great attitude and a great work ethic, and he'll climb the ranks before you know it.
Trying to make the roster in Hershey will be a major challenge. The two-time defending Calder Cup champions already have experienced veterans in the net, which could force DeMichiel to start his career elsewhere.
I would say probably my goal right now is just to, find a home, whether it's in Hershey or South Carolina, and then just to win as many games as possible. And if our team's winning, then that'll open up some doors to me, maybe to get called up to Hershey or get called up to Washington. I mean, that's still a ways away. But I just want to continue to get better and work hard. And I'm really just excited for the whole entire experience. I don't know what to expect, but I've been wanting to be a professional hockey player my whole life, and now the opportunity's there, so hopefully I make the most of it.
DeMichiel is currently in Hershey, fighting for a coveted spot on the Bears roster. If he makes it, he'll return to Rochester on October 10th when Hershey faces the Rochester Americans.
It's one of the longest running traditions at RIT. The 15th annual Mud Tug gave students a chance to get dirty while raising money for a worthy cause. Kristen Clark has the story.
The Mud Tug is RIT's second largest charity event. This year, Phi, Psi, and Zeta are hosting the 15th annual competition. Teams of 10 sign up to compete in a muddy tug-of-war match where all proceeds are donated to the Hillside Family of Agencies. So what brought you out to the Mud Tug today?
Well, I'm an alumni of Zeta Tau Alpha, so I wanted to come out and support my sisters and support a great cause, and it's just a fun time to come back to.
So what went into making this event run smoothly?
Oh, there's a lot that goes into it. It's been about 25 weeks of work. Got to go and make sure security's paid for and make sure that all the administrators are on board with everything. Obviously, as you can see, it's our biggest one we've ever had. 110 teams today.
Are the teams exclusively from RIT?
No, we've actually expanded to other schools. We went to St. John Fisher, Nazareth, MCC, and U of R. We have a lot of outsiders coming in, and it's good to get other people in the community involved trying to help a good cause.
We actually have Hillside come out here today. A couple of the kids are playing in the mud pit over there. They're having a blast, just showing them what it's all about.
Do you have an estimate of how much money you're expecting to raise?
Our goal is to make over $6,000. I know last year we made somewhere ballpark around there, so we definitely want to get something like that.
So how'd you guys get so muddy?
We just jumped in. I'm getting
You gotta get muddy. You gotta get used to it before you actually go tug. Like, you gotta get used to the waters.
He likes the mud.
It's really cold.
What's your favorite part about the Mud Tug?
Getting dirty.
The mud.
Obviously.
Muddy.
I think that it brings the RIT community together so well. It's probably the biggest event that we have that's completely student run. And obviously it's for a great cause, so it's just really exciting.
Mud Tug drew a record 110 teams this year while raising over $6,500 for Hillside.
Meanwhile, the RIT women's soccer team is in the SportsZone spotlight this week after the team's best start in 7 years. The Tigers facing Clarkson University, and RIT got on the board in the first half. 36 minutes, Shireen Arani to junior Kim Sisti, who puts it in the net to give RIT a 1-0 lead. Pick it up in the second half. Sisti came calling again, finding the lower right corner for the goal. The Tigers defeated Clarkson 2-0 for RIT's 6th win in 7 games. After her great performance against Clarkson, our SC Spotlight player is Kim Sisti. The graphic design major from Horseheads, New York, now leads the Tigers in points and goals this season.
Today's episode of RIT SportsZone is dedicated to 2 Tigers that were taken from us far too soon in their young lives. Second-year student and men's lacrosse player Willie Rago passed away in September following a long and difficult battle with a rare type of bone cancer.
The RIT community was also shaken by the tragic loss of NTID alumnus Tony Wallace. Wallace was killed while on duty with the Hoonah, Alaska Police Department, where he served as an officer since 2008. Now, during this time at RIT, Wallace served as a public safety officer and was an All-American wrestler who was inducted into the RIT Athletic Hall of Fame in 2008. Our thoughts and prayers are with both the Rago and Wallace families.